The primary level, we have to follow multilingual approach. The idea is not just translation method. You're not translating the lesson into their mother tongue. Translation is wherever necessary, but when you have a lesson like this, which is very tough, okay. So for example, read this lesson, page number 42, just have a look at the lesson, how many students can read and understand. And if you explain everything in Telugu, Kannada, that is not multilingualism. Translation is not multilingual approach. It's not bilingual approach. It is the age-old translation method, grammar translation method, 1970s, 60s, 70s. All right. Multilingual, bilingual approach is different. So how do you follow multilingual approach to teach this particular passage? What do you think you can do? Multilingual approach. Yeah, read the passage. Listen. Can they answer your questions? No, they cannot. Can they do a role play? No. Can they narrate the story in their own sentences? No. For everything, what is important is they have to understand, comprehension. If they comprehend, they can do anything. So all your post-reading activities, while reading, post-reading will be futile, will be a waste if students don't understand the content of the lesson. What is it about, right? So comprehension is at the core of reading. How do you help them comprehend? Generally what we do is we translate everything, maybe word by word or sentence by sentence. That is not multilingualism. Multilingualism is scaffolding their reading, alright, scaffolding. Helping them to facilitating reading. So how can we do that? For example, we can begin with a few questions. See, there are many tough words, like for example, civil rights activists, civil rights, they will not know civil rights. And then, what are the other words? Emancipation, proclamation, slaves, and then Negro is there? Negro is there? Oh, we are not supposed to use that. Okay, at that time, yes. All right, and then slavery, hatred. Okay. Correct. That's right. Lots of tough words. So how do you help them? One is, see, before they read, you have to prepare them for reading by giving them background knowledge. So one is, for example, what is slavery or what is racial discrimination? Do you know anything about slavery? All right, slavery. What is the word in Kannada for slavery? Gulamagiri. Telugu? Right. So begin a discussion. If you ask questions only in English, they won't understand. So what is slavery? All right, give examples. Right? Is slavery still practiced in India? No, not practiced. Slavery? Okay, somewhere, yes. Some are acting as slaves, some are acting as masters. All right. So maybe you can have a discussion. It is a bit sensitive, but you can have a discussion. So if you want to have a discussion about this, slavery, about discrimination in the society, about casteism, then can you have discussion in English? In class 6, 7, 8, can you discuss everything in English? No. So discussion can happen in mother tongue. They can discuss in their mother tongue. Or for example, what do you know about Martin Luther King? Maybe some students will know something about Martin Luther King. Who is Martin Luther King? What is he famous for? All right. What do you know about American civil rights? All right. Who comes to your mind when we talk about equality, discrimination? What other personalities come to your mind? Nelson Mandela. Obviously, Nelson Mandela, who fought against slavery. Mahatma Gandhi ji, who fought for equality. Jyoti Babu Phule. Right. So students will give examples and they'll talk about this in their own languages. So when we say multilingualism, it doesn't mean teacher will use only Kannada in the class or only Telugu, because your classroom may be a multilingual classroom. There may be children, even if there is one child who doesn't understand Kannada. In Bangalore, many schools are multilingual in nature. There are Tamil speaking children in a Kannada medium class, Urdu speaking children in a Kannada medium class, or if it is English medium, you have students speaking other languages, migrants, Oriya speaking child, Hindi speaking children. Alright, you have many such schools in Bangalore. In your own places, for example, So is your class monolingual, bilingual or multilingual? Many classrooms are bilingual. Children come from maybe one language background. All of them can speak Telugu. Maybe some classrooms are multilingual. There may be children who speak other languages, tribal languages. They may not be able to read and write in the state language, dominant language of the state, which is Kannada, Telugu, right? So if the classroom is multilingual, it's very important to follow multilingual approach. Multilingual approach means it's not that teacher alone uses their languages. You should respect their languages, all right? You should allow them to use their own languages. Only then you can enhance classroom participation. If you don't allow them to use their languages, what will happen? Classroom will be, they'll not show interest. They'll slowly lose interest, they'll drop out, they'll withdraw from classroom participation, all right? They can't perform well and they'll drop out, for example. So multilingualism is all about respecting different languages. When we say language, it reflects their culture. It reflects their culture. So talking about their lifestyles, their food habits, language is also, if they don't participate, it's like you are not recognizing their presence in the classroom. All right. Language is a matter of my identity. When you allow me to speak in my language, it gives me an identity. All right. Many students don't have any identity in the classroom. They don't have any identity. We just treat them as a mass. All right. So if they don't know English, if they can't speak in English, they have to keep quiet. They have to keep quiet because my classroom, English only classroom. If you know English, you can participate, you can speak. Otherwise, corner of the classroom, keep quiet. Is that good? No, that is a discriminatory practice. It is exclusive stuff. You're excluding many children from your classroom activities by saying it's English only classroom. I'll use only English. Many English medium schools, they follow English only approach, teaching English through English. Now we say you cannot teach English only through English. Teach English through other languages. Mother tongue is a great resource. It is not a crime to use mother tongue in the classroom. It is an asset. It is a blessing because mother tongue gives them an identity. All right. So when we say their language, it's also their culture, their food habits, their lifestyle, their religion, their caste. You should respect. When you respect their languages, it's like respecting their cultures, respecting their background. They may have many stories to share related to your lessons. All right. One lesson, maybe they have just because they don't know English doesn't mean they know nothing. Their mind is blank. Is their mind blank? They come with rich life experiences. So multilingualism allows us to share their life experiences, relating the text to their life, to their culture, to their religion, right? So that is multilingualism. There are many things to discuss. You may not understand, teacher doesn't have to understand, but at least recognizing their presence, recognizing that there are different languages in the classroom, you should recognize. That is enough in the beginning. Then maybe slowly they'll bring their own reading materials, they'll start writing. If you say writing only in English, they will never write. They'll just copy from the blackboard. All right, they'll copy. If you allow them to write in their languages, they'll start writing. They'll make honest attempts to read, write and speak. So what is more important? If you say write only in English, they will not write. So not writing or writing something in their mother tongue, which is better? Something is better than nothing, right? Slowly they will code switch. They'll mix both the languages slowly. They'll begin in English, they'll switch over to their mother tongue. So there are many years to learn English. So when they go to high school, maybe they'll be able to write everything in English. So don't be in a hurry. Don't expect everybody to write everything in English, everybody to speak only in English. Accommodate everyone, give them their own time. All right. So that is it is.
In our schools, many Bihari people and those who are coming from the plantation work, they know only their language.
That's right. They know only their language. Teacher doesn't know their language, but if you allow them to use Bihari language in the classroom, they'll participate more. See, we have done many training programs on this. For example, a child who doesn't read aloud in the class, Assamese it seems.
Assamese also.
Yeah, he never stood up and he never wanted to read anything aloud. Only other students who knew Kannada, they were all coming and reading aloud. But one day when teacher started speaking to him in his language, she learnt his language slowly by talking to him. When she allowed him to use his language, slowly he started to participate. He said, I'll read aloud. So he came front, he started reading the lesson aloud. Now he is able to read very well. But for many 6 months, he never wanted to read aloud. He never wanted to participate because he thought it's English class. Teacher knows only Kannada, English and Kannada. I am a outsider here. Alright, I am an outsider. So he never wanted to raise his hand, stand up, participate. So just allowing him to speak, he's interested, shows more interest. He's more regular to the classroom. Now he attends classes every day. Earlier, irregular. Alright, so things like that. You will see lots of changes. Okay, alright, so let's conclude by, I've got 2 sheets here, action research report. Okay, I'll conclude by distributing these sheets. So one is how to write your report. Are you all ready with your action plan? Actually, I wanted to discuss. So tomorrow, who will collect? Group leaders will collect or you will give it to me? How is it like? Group leaders will collect. Please give it to your group leaders. So I'll collect it from group leaders on Monday. Okay, tomorrow I'm not there, so group photograph will be there. They'll copy and paste my photo, don't worry. Alright, that's why if somebody is absent, they'll copy and paste. Okay, yes, Hitesh sir also, they'll copy and paste. So we'll be there in the group photo, all of us. And then, so group leaders, please collect tomorrow and then give it to me on 28th or latest by 29th. Okay, alright. So this is for your final action research report. Here you don't have space to write. So you can use other sheets, additional sheets, and it's not that you have to submit your report like this. This is your basic framework to write the report. Use this framework and write a report in 6, 8 or 10 pages. 8-10 pages. That will be wonderful to have a report, have a detailed report. In case you're not able to write a detailed report because of your busy schedule, at least this is very important. You have to submit this. Whenever possible, give evidence in the form of video links. You can, in between, you can upload the video to your Google Drive, and give a link in your report so I can watch your videos. It is a proof that you have done these activities. Or photos, at least photos. You should have a few photos of your classroom. Otherwise, it's difficult to say that you have done all this. Alright. And then the next column is details of activities conducted. Okay? Details of activities conducted. Okay, so details in the sense what you did, what your students did, what materials you have used, and the duration of the activity. Did you do it for 15 minutes in the beginning of the classroom, then maybe regular lesson, or maybe all 40 minutes, and then so how much time did you take to do these activities, and what is the outcome of the activity? How did these activities help your students? How many participated? What is the effect of the activity on the classroom? Already, did they show more interest? And then did you collect any feedback? Feedback not for each and every activity, but at least at the end of 1 week, you should collect some feedback from students, or you should have an observation sheet, alright? Or watch their progress. If you video record everything, first video and end of the week, the last video, compare. What is the improvement? How are your students now? Is there any progress? That you have to document. So that is for how many weeks? 4 weeks. 4 weeks. Each week, don't conduct just one activity. Conduct at least 3 or 4 activities. One is mandatory, but do a few more. By just doing one activity, children will not gain anything. Alright. If you have to assess the effect, do many activities. At least 3-4 activities every week. That is one. Second is student profile. So for your action research, focus on a few students, maybe 7 or 10 students. Write their name of the students, and how was their attitude, their participation in the beginning. Now, as soon as you go, you can do a pre-test, or based on your observation, you can enter details in this column. How was their current level? What are they able to do related to your action research topic? If it is speaking, what are they able to do now? What are their problems? What are they struggling to do? Are they not opening their mouth at all? Alright. So current, that is called entry level behavior. And next, change in the student at the end of 1 month or end of each week. End of first week, what is the change? End of second week, end of the month, what change do you see in your teaching or in their learning, whatever it is. You should be able to see it. That is called visual learning. Visual learning means you're able to see what they're learning. You're able to see in your own eyes. Many a time we cannot see what they're learning. Alright. So visual learning means seeing with evidence. Alright. I can see a lot of interest in students. I can see they're more confident enough. I can see they're regular to my classroom. All this you can see. I can see many of them coming forward, reading aloud. I can see many of them trying to speak in English. I can see. See, that is what you have to capture. What is the change you can see in your students? Alright. And next steps. What do you want to do next? Do you want to continue with your action list? Do you want to do a few more activities before you go to second month or third month? Alright, some remedial activities. Right? Yeah, next steps. So based on all this, please write your report. In case you can't write a detailed report, at least fill these 2 sheets and you can send it to me. Yeah? Soft copy. You can write by hand. Mail ID, date, it's all given here. Mail ID is given at the end. My mail ID is given and you have to submit before 15th January 2025. Last date. We will never extend the last date.